Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So, I want to talk about a comment I got, because every now and then you get a comment which it is the pinnacle of so many little things that just grind my gears, you may say. So I'm going to respond to this comment in this video in a friendly manner, but also maybe give a life lesson here and there. And this isn't directly aimed at this dude. Maybe he's just having a frustrating moment. I can understand it when you're short of money. But anyway, let's get on with it. A couple of years ago I made a video talking about how to shorten a motorcycle chain, why you wouldn't do that. It's not the most entertaining video in the world, but as far as clear video, clear audio, good information with all the extra bits that you'd need about why you wouldn't do something, you know, it's all there. It's a good video in my opinion. I don't toot my own horn very often, if ever at all actually. I'm pretty critical of myself. However, I can accept objectively that video gets across the information that's required. Well, then I got this comment. Okay, so where do we start with this? Well, one, the video is called How to Shorten a Motorcycle Chain, not how to shorten a motorcycle chain without tools. Also, a chain splitter is not really a specialist tool when you own a motorcycle, and this is one of my points I want to talk about. So many people seem to want to own a motorcycle, but do not want to accept the reality, which is that if you own a motorcycle, it's going to need to be worked on, it's going to need to have maintenance done on it. If you don't have much money, you are going to need to learn to do it and buy some tools. So when you buy the bike, you're going to have to budget in a basic toolkit. I have videos on this on my Tips for New Riders playlist for this exact reason. If you've got tons of money and you're not interested in learning, it's fine. Just go down to the local garage and they'll do whatever you want. But you can't have it both ways. You can't be the cheap one who wants to do it yourself, but also not have the tools to do it. It's, you know, and you call it a specialist tool, but you own specialist tools. You own spoons for eating soup. That's a specialist tool. Now, you might not think of it as that, but it is. It's no good eating a steak with a spoon, is it? So if you own a motorcycle, you just have to accept there's a few things you might need. So as I say, not only are they coming to my video, which I have given for free and put a lot of work into, and just said this is rubbish because it's not what I wanted, well tough. That's the way life is. If you go to a video that says how to shorten a motorcycle chain, and it doesn't say without tools, well, what did you want? Did you just want me to magic the fact that hardened steel can't be bitten through with your teeth? Do you know what I actually did this morning? I went in the garage, got an old motorcycle chain, and I tried to work out a way of doing it with the fewest amount of tools possible. Now, by clamping the chain in between a couple of pieces of wood, I did manage to hacksaw through the middle of, the two links to separate it out. And then I was like, right, well, that gives me one pin I need to grind down. So, hand file. 10 minutes of hand filing. Yep, those are hardened pins, and that file's not going to cut through it. So, okay, difficult. What if I use the hacksaw? He said he has a hacksaw. Try to run that hacksaw along the side of that hardened pin. It's not cutting into the pin at all because it's a hardened pin. The links for a motorcycle chain, the outside pieces, are not hardened. They're softer steel. They're easy to cut through. The pins are hardened steel, and it's just that's the fact of it. If something is harder than your file, you're not going to file through it very easily. So the only tool that I can think of that's going to easily get through that pin to be able to split them is an angle grinder. Now, you don't even need a chain splitter at that point. You know, you could use a hammer and a nail and bang it through. But the point still stands. If you own a bike, you just have to accept the fact that there are things you may need if you want to work on it yourself. You know, it's like saying, oh, I want to have a bike, but I don't want to put petrol in it. Stop being an idiot. It's going to cause you a lot of problems in life if you apply that pattern of thought and logic to everything. You know, bring a comment like that to someone else's door because you're having a problem and you just can't get the right tool. I just don't get it. I just don't. So as I say, I genuinely tried to make a video that even if it took me an hour to file through that pin, I could do it, and I was going to do it with like one file and an old nail. Unfortunately, I proved myself right. That my version, the old one, is kind of your only option. Some chain splitters you can probably just about push the pin through with the mushroom head, but you'll probably knacker the inside of the chain and pull it apart because of the way they're constructed. You have to get that head off of it, and it's hardened steel. My video on how to shorten a chain still stands, and I have absolutely no questions about that. And actually now it's now even truer than it was before. But it's just this sort of attitude towards life of just wanting everything your way. You're not the centre of your own, you know, action movie. You're not the hero of this story. You're just another human. Shit doesn't work out sometimes. Sometimes stuff has to be fixed and you can't afford to fix it. It's just a reality of life. The way you react to that is what makes the difference. You can pick an angle grinder up now for like 15 quid that will do the job. You can get chain splitters for a tenner. And as I've said, you don't even really need that if you've got a hammer and nail, but it's better to have it because if you own a motorcycle, you're probably going to want to do some work to it occasionally. The other concern I have is that I feel like, are they actually shortening a chain, or are they trying to elongate the life of an old chain, which is something I expressly said you don't do in that video. Now, don't put in the comments, haters are going to hate, trolls are going to troll. This isn't a hater, this isn't a troll, this is just someone who's approaching life in a very... They're setting yourself up for disappointment a lot, and a lot of anger, because you're just not accepting what the reality of life is. If you need to grind down a hardened steel pin, you're not going to do it with a spoon. Now, as I say, the reason why this hit on so many different things is because that attitude of wanting to have a bike but not wanting to have to maintain it, and then letting the thing just fall apart and become incredibly dangerous, is really common. And I see it a lot. And I've tried to teach people, like, to be smart and understand there is realisms to this world. There are unavoidable truths. I'm going to Tesco's. You always knew it. It's always going to be there. You might not believe me that this is a thing that is growing in society, this sort of attitude towards stuff that needs to be fixed and just not being realistic about it. I've made 2,000 YouTube videos over the past 10 years. I've read the comments on every single video. And it's a growing problem, the way that people come to you and sort of expect you to fix their problem. It's your problem because you didn't give them a magic, non-existing answer. And this is all towards me, and I just made the video to try and help people for free. Actually, in fact, you can also thank my patrons, the people who support this channel, who make it possible for me to do this as a job, to make these videos. I think they understand the point that if I can give you lessons that save you money, the $1 a month for patrons worth it. And it's worth it for everyone else. You know, it's a way of helping others as well as yourself. It's one of the reasons I make my channel useful. Maybe I'm not the most entertaining person in the world, but I know a few things and I can help you fix stuff. Anyway, as I say, no hard feelings towards that dude. I say you might have just been having a bad day, not thinking too clearly, but seriously, it did highlight something a lot of people do, and it's just better if you don't, for everyone. Anyway, till the next one. Bye-bye.